Well, good morning, everyone. Everyone's bright and up and at it. Thank you so much. Welcome to our 2014 Military Academy send-off breakfast. This is a great day. I'd like to thank you all for joining us as we recognize these young men and women from our 8th Congressional District who've received an appointment to one of our military service academies. This is one of my favorite district events all year because I get to congratulate our soon-to-be cadets and midshipmen on earning their prestigious appointment. And we're here to celebrate that achievement, these amazing young men and women who in the coming weeks will embark on an exciting and honorable journey of service to our country. This year, the 8th District of Texas is proud to send 9 outstanding young men and women to the United States Service Academy. And I'd like to introduce them. Attending the Air Force Academy, Casey Bell, the Woodlands High School. Casey. Jeremy Blunt, Northeast Christian Academy. Paul Love II of Spring High School. And Grant Parks of Oak Ridge High School. Attending West Point is Tala Rouse, Conroe High School. Uriel Shaw of the Woodlands College Park High School. Derek Wagner, Conroe High School. Naval Academy, they're going to have better attendance at West Point, I guarantee you. In the Naval Academy, we have Adrian Easter, Montgomery High School. And Andrew Gomez of the Woodlands College Park. Well, these are the future leaders of the country, and I'm reassured. I know those who've gone through the academy process and are on our academy board are reassured for the future of our nation because of the caliber of the young Americans we see in this room this morning. It's not just these young men and women that we celebrate this morning. As a parent myself, I know it takes a family support, an awful lot of sacrifice and encouragement to help these young people achieve their goals. So to the parents here today, I want to say thank you. Thank you for instilling the values of patriotism and responsibility and commitment into your children. Thank you for helping make them the fine young men and women they are today, setting the stage for the leaders they'll soon become. So the cadets and midshipmen, join me in thanking your parents for this morning as well. As you all know from going through this process, we're really fortunate to have a process that has really maximized the number of young men and women who are eventually accepted in the academies. And that's by no small accident. Throughout the years we've been blessed to have some of our best community leaders, some of them who have attended and graduated from academies, serving on the selection committee to nominate these fine young men and women. Our board is comprised of a tremendous group of leaders, some in business, some in education, again, some with really key military leadership. We have some of them here today. I'd like to introduce to you Lieutenant Colonel Champ Miller. Champ, please stand. Lieutenant Colonel Wendell Barnes. Wendell, there you are. Is Colonel Snook here this morning? Where are you at? Colonel, right in front of me. I'm sorry. Thank you very much. Tom Murphy. Tom, thank you for being here. And Camilla Viator. Camilla, thank you so much for being here. So, this morning's about congratulating our young people. Also, it's an opportunity to meet and listen to get an idea of what to expect as you prepare to head off to Annapolis, Colorado Springs, or West Point. And to the young people, I encourage you to get to know the other academy appointees from District 8. And for parents, this is a great opportunity to meet some of the parents of the young people who are going to the academy as well. What we've learned through the years is that there's no real better way to know what lies ahead of you over the next 4 years than to hear from someone who stood in your shoes and has made it through the rigorous academy experience themselves. So I hope this breakfast gives you sustenance on many levels, new friendships, new support systems, and knowledge of the path ahead. Before we have breakfast and begin today's program, I'd like to call on my friend, Lieutenant Colonel Champ Miller, who has served this country, whose wife serves our state, whose children serve our nation as well, longstanding member of our Academy Service Board, and a great friend, to lead us in the invocation and Pledge of Allegiance. Lieutenant Colonel Champ Miller.
Now, the rest of you from the other service academies, don't be afraid of me. Yes, I'm a graduate of West Point, but I did have a daughter that graduated from Naval Academy. So, she's serving on active duty right now. Would you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for the invocation. And this invocation is the cadet prayer from West Point. O God, our Father, thou searcher of human hearts, help us to draw near to thee in sincerity and truth. May our religion be filled with gladness, and may our worship of thee be natural. Strengthen and increase our admiration for honest dealing and clean thinking, and suffer not a hatred of hypocrisy and pretense ever to diminish. Encourage us in our endeavor to live above the common level of life. Make us to choose the harder right instead of the easier wrong, and never to be content with the half-truth when the whole can be won. Endow us with courage that is born of loyalty to all that is noble and worthy, that scorns to compromise with vice and injustice, and knows no fear when truth and right are in jeopardy. Guard us against flippancy and irreverence of the sacred things of life. Grant us new ties of friendship and new opportunities of service. Kindle our hearts in fellowship with those of a cheerful countenance, and soften our hearts with sympathy for those who sorrow and suffer. Help us to maintain the honor of the Corps, untarnished and unsullied, and to show forth in our lives the ideals of West Point in doing our duty to thee and to our country. All of which we ask in the name of the great friend and master of all. Amen. Amen.
Please be seated. So right now I'd like to invite the head table to start the buffet line, and the staff we've got on board will direct the remaining tables, so enjoy your breakfast and the fellowship.
My topic this morning is the various societies that exist around Houston for the parents. So for the parents, I'm speaking directly to you. There are several societies here for West Point, also for the Naval Academy, the Air Force Academy, the Merchant Marine Academy, and also U.S. Coast Guard Academy. Now, do you have to be a member? And the answer is no. Is there any stigma attached if I'm not a member? No, there's no stigma. It's to help you understand what your midshipmen or your cadet are going through and the experiences that you can exchange with various parents, because there'll be a line of communications from their respective service academy. So I would emphasize this. I would take a look at it. It could be, it also leads to many friendships with other parents at various service academies. So I would look very closely at this, okay? It will help you understand what, like I said, your cadet or midshipman is encountering at the academy. There are several, you can Google most of them, but for West Point, it's the West Point Parents Club, of Greater Houston. Okay, and I have this information here, and after the breakfast and the program is completed, if you need that information, I would be glad to give it to you. Then at the Naval Academy, it's Texas Gulf Coast .usnaparents.com. Okay. Then we have the Air Force Academy. It's the Southeast Texas Air Force Academy Parents Association. Google it, it's going to bring up the page. The Coast Guard Academy is www.cgaalumni.org. And then also, we don't have a merchant mariner here, do we? Applicant? I don't think so. Okay. Heads up, there's going to be a Joint Service Academy Ball at Moody Gardens in Galveston, Texas, Thursday, December 26th of this year. And I have the email address. Once again, should you attend, okay, it's definitely up to you, okay? Your mid or your cadet will be at home at that time. We attend it every year. I want to tell you something, it's a fun time. There's dancing, and everybody gets together, good music, and good camaraderie. It's really a good time. So I would recommend that you do attend this, at least one of them. And I think you'll enjoy it. Now, Peyton Roberts is going to be passing out a sheet that says press on. And your first week at the academy is going to be probably a traumatic shock, okay? My first night, I was in my bunk, and I was there looking up at the ceiling, and I went, what have I done? And it got worse from there. It was called Beast Barrack. It was tough, and you're entering a tough journey. But it's a journey that will be very, very rewarding. The cadre are sharpening their teeth and their skills as we speak. Okay? But remember one thing, it's not personal. It's a game. So play the game. Okay? Don't laugh at them. Don't do that. No. But laugh after you get back in your room. Okay? But it's a game. It's not personal. I took it personal. And that made my journey during those first 2 months very, very difficult. But it's not personal. And hopefully this will help. It's called Press On. Nothing in the world can take the place of persistence. Talent will not. Nothing is more common than unsuccessful men with talent. Genius will not. Unrewarded genius is almost a proverb. Education alone will not. The world is full of educated derelicts. Persistence and determination alone are omnipotent. Remember that. Okay? Don't give up. Okay? Continue to press forward. And you're going to get knocked down, but get back up and keep going. Good luck to all of you. Kevin?
Thank you, Shannon. Thank you so much for your service. And now it's my pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker. Brynn Umbach is a 2010 graduate of the Academy of Science and Technology in College Park High School in Woodlands. Upon graduation, Brynn ventured to Annapolis, Maryland, to attend the United States Naval Academy, and she graduated from there last month. She was an outstanding midshipman. Based on overall order of merit consisting of academic, military, and physical standings, Midshipman First Class Brynn Umbach received the first overall ship selection for the graduating class of 2014, which is remarkable. In June, Brynn will be moving to San Diego, California, where she'll be stationed on the USS Sampson. Because graduating with such high standards and moving to your first assignment isn't enough, she will be marrying, before moving to San Diego, Ensign Garrett Gray of the U.S. Navy, a explosive ordnance officer select and Naval Academy class of 2013 graduate. Brynn is the winner of the Office of Naval Intelligence class of 1979 Trident Scholar Prize. She's also the recipient of 2014 Undergraduate Award for Excellence in Chemistry from Iota Sigma Pi National Honor Society for Women. She is the first Naval Academy midshipman to receive the award. She is also recipient of the Smith McCool Memorial Sword, awarded each year to the first midshipman who stands highest in his or her class among those who enter from the Texas Gulf Coast. She really is a remarkable person and remarkable leader. Please join me in welcoming Ensign Brynn Umbach.
Well, thank you all for being here. First, I just want to say a few thank yous. First to Congressman Brady, because truly without him I would not be here, and you know how competitive it is to just get the appointment to be able to go. I also want to say thank you to my parents. They're going to come up here in a little bit and talk, but this was a challenging experience for me, but it was just as challenging for them as parents, and they've been extremely supportive of my journey there. And also just thanks to God, my faith sometimes was the only thing that got me through those really challenging days, to be honest. So it's been really hard. I'll be honest, I'm extremely excited to graduate and to now be an officer. But it was a really amazing, worthwhile experience. Sometimes it took me reminding myself that what I was doing was worthwhile and I was challenging myself during those really tough days. But I'm telling you that when you graduate, you really are going to feel like you've accomplished something. And the Naval Academy has been really good to me. It's served me in a lot of ways. And so now I'm excited to be an officer and actually serve others and give back. So just a couple points. The first is these service academies, they're not free. So I love this. People will come up to me and say, oh, that's great. You know, the Naval Academy, it's free. You don't have to pay for it. You know, it's great. And my parents and I laugh because, yes, you don't have to pay any money, but you do pay in other ways. So I just want to make sure you have your eyes open before you go and start this journey. So first of all, these service academies are not free, and that they hold you to a much higher standard than any of the other universities. So going to a service academy, it's not about wearing the cool uniform, it's not about having fun and impressing your friends back home. It's a lot of hard work, and they do not give you second chances when it comes to sacrificing your honor, your integrity. So just keep that in mind. You're held to a much higher standard. So go in and protect that, your honor, your character, because truly that's all they have. They strip you of everything else, clothes, photographs, everything. All you have is your honor and your character. Also, you have to give up your privacy. I can't tell you how difficult it is to find a quiet spot to make a phone call. So you get used to it, but just keep that in mind. Also, you give up a lot of time during your summers, so you don't have the mobility that your friends do. However, the things I've done with my summers have been absolutely incredible, and just incredible opportunities to travel and see the world. But you do give up the freedom to kind of control your life and your own timeline. And for me, I'm a perfectionist, a planner. It's actually been really good for me, learning to be more flexible, go with the flow. It's been a really valuable lesson, but it's also a hard lesson. So the Naval Academy and the other service academies, they're not free, but like I said, they've given me such an incredible experience, a very, very unique experience, which I don't think you could have at another university. And the first reason why is because you have an incredible opportunity to have an amazing education. So I loved chemistry. We're really fortunate here to come from a fantastic school system, so all of you will be really well off. So if you're worried about the academics, I'm telling you, you'll probably be in the top of your classes. Don't get lazy, but just know that you'll be well off in terms of the starting level classes. But as Congressman Brady said, I had the opportunity to do a trident research project. What that is a extended research project. I did mine for 2.5 years, and I did research with algae biofuels. And I was able to work one-on-one with a professor who has a PhD in biochemistry. And I can't tell you how many hours I spent in his office one-on-one, which is such a unique experience for an undergraduate student. You look at most universities, and undergraduate students have to work within the timeline of the graduate level program. So graduate level students are usually given priority when it comes to research facilities and also one-on-one face time with the professors. Well, at the service academies, there are no teacher's assistants, no research assistants. You are working with a PhD civilian professor or a military professor who has at least a master's degree in their subject. So you're really working with the experts directly, which is amazing. I think the largest class size I had was about 22 people, which is unheard of, no big lecture halls. So that is definitely a huge gift that the Service Academy is going to give to you. Also, in addition to classroom education, it gives you an incredible opportunity to travel. So I'm a chemistry major and I'm also a Spanish minor. And I had the opportunity to go overseas after my sophomore year at the Naval Academy to Spain, where I spent 4 weeks in Spain on the North Coast learning Spanish and just traveling all around the country. It was absolutely incredible and didn't have to, it was all paid for. So this past summer was a little crazy. I was actually sent on a ship to kind of shadow the surface warfare officers, the officers on that ship, to get an idea of what I was going to do coming up here in a couple of weeks. And I met the ship in South Korea and then sailed with the ship down to Hong Kong. And we had some interesting engagements with the Chinese, that's all I can say, but I mean, I was out there and seeing, getting a real glimpse of what the work I'm going to be doing now in a couple weeks is. And I mean, you'll talk to your peers and it almost will be lost on them. So the incoming class of 2018, truly it's, your high school friends, you'll notice there'll be some people who try to understand and a lot of people just cannot, they just can't even fathom what you're doing right now. So be grateful for those opportunities. And then also, in addition to going off the coast of China, I came home for 4 weeks, and then after that, I went to Uganda. And while I was in Uganda, I worked for 7 weeks with a nonprofit organization there. So it was quite an action-packed summer. On June 26th of this month, I'll be meeting my ship in Hawaii, and I'll be with my ship through August 8th. And then my ship deploys October 31st for Asia for a 6 to 7 month deployment. So much more traveling in my near future as well. And then lastly, and maybe most importantly, is the friendships you'll make. And yes, the Naval Academy, it's extremely hard. The boot camp, plebe summer, and the equivalents for the Air Force Academy and the Military Academy, they're really challenging. But you will grow so close with the people who are in your company or in your unit. And they'll become your lifelong friends. And I met my husband-to-be through this whole process, so can't complain too much. So, so in addition to that, I just really want to speak now to those about to enter the service academies. And I'd be more than happy to talk to you afterwards. I'd love to answer any questions you have. I had a really good friend who was an exchange student from the Air Force Academy, so though I didn't attend there, I do know quite a bit about the Air Force Academy. The Military Academy, I know a couple people who did exchange programs there, but we have some other in-house experts who you can ask questions. I encourage you to ask your questions now. Please do. We're willing to help, and I'm telling you, They're not going to be your detailers, or the people in charge of you for boot camp are not going to just be as willing to answer any question you have. So this is the time. We'll be friendly. So I just have 3 big points for the incoming class of 2018 to the service academies. The first is, this was actually advice or misadvice that I was given before starting plebe summer, my boot camp. I was told to just blend in with the wall, don't let them notice you, just kind of, get by that way. And honestly, I thought that was really bad advice, and I'll tell you why. Like I said, you're stripped of your clothes, literally. I think I could keep my tennis shoes, that was it, truly. Everything else is put in a bag and given to your parents. It's all gone. You're not allowed to have pictures. You don't have your phone, you don't have your watch, you don't even know what time it is. It's just truly disorienting experience, the boot camp. But what you do have is who you are as a person. So I'm a pretty outspoken person naturally. And though we weren't allowed just to freely talk, I used to ask permission to tell a story at meal times. And I don't think that the detailers or the cadre had ever heard that one before. So they're like, okay, sure, I guess. So, be creative in finding ways to be yourself. If you're always the guy with a good joke, find ways. You have to learn the first couple of weeks, kind of feel out the situation, but find ways to be yourself. Don't try to blend in with the wall. Learn, be respectful, be humble, but try to be yourself, because that's truly all you have. Like I said, also stay humble. Honestly, you don't know anything right now. I'm just going to throw that out there. You might think you know something because you had a sibling go or you had parents go. You really don't know anything until you experience it yourself. So go in knowing, I know absolutely nothing about this. And I'm telling you, if you go in with that attitude, you'll gain respect a lot faster and you'll learn a lot faster. There'll be some prior enlisted who will probably be joining you as well. Learn from those students who used to be enlisted. I can't tell you, I relied. There was one guy and a girl in our company who had been prior enlisted, and we just went to them for everything. So be humble, don't be afraid to ask for help. But as Colonel Miller said, don't take things too seriously. Go laugh in your room. You're going to laugh 4 years from now at how scared you were going into plebe summer. I think about it and I just laugh. It's absolutely hysterical. But so don't take things too seriously. Don't laugh in the face of your cadre or detailer, otherwise you'll end up doing push-ups all day in front of them and being yelled at. So don't do that, but don't take things too seriously. And then lastly, and this was kind of alluded to already, you are going to be yelled at. It doesn't matter if you are the perfect midshipman or the perfect cadet, you are going to be yelled at, so don't take it too personally. And even if you truly do nothing wrong, they'll just make something up. Because the whole point of the boot camp, I'll tell you a secret, is to see how you handle intense situations. It's how you act under pressure. It's can you learn, can you take constructive criticism, and can you learn from that? Because that's the life you're entering into. It's a life of criticism, it's a life of scrutiny, and it's very rewarding, but you're being held to those higher standards. So, stay humble, but don't be too hard on yourself. And truly, I know I just threw a lot at you all, but what you're doing is extremely worthwhile, and no one can question that. So just keep that in mind during the tough days. And you survived. I made it, and I'd say I did more than survived. I thrived there. Some days were not good, other days were really good, but I wish you all the best of luck, and please ask me as many questions as you want. Thank you.
Brynn, thank you very much for those remarks. I do town hall meetings, so I get yelled at a lot as well. And you're right, don't take it too personally. Well, we're so proud of you and wish you and Garrett safe and prosperous times ahead. Now, we have the opportunity to hear from Brynn's parents, Stephen and Lisa Umbach, about their experience as Naval Academy parents. Stephen is an industrial designer, runs his own design consulting firm, Umbach Consulting Group. Lisa is an Algebra 1 and 2 teacher in the math department head of Magnolia West High School. We also have a son, Gray, who's finishing his sophomore year at Stanford University. He's a chemical engineering major, runs in the family, and a member of the varsity swim team. Please help me in welcoming Stephen and Lisa Umbach.
Well, it's just as Brynn talked about the challenges that she's faced during her 4 years, it is a challenge for the parents as well. I mean, and I think I was ignorant, which was good in some ways. Don't have military experience really on either side of our family, direct military.
Not our generation.
Not our generation, anyway. Now, that's not to say that this was anything that I was at all excited about, to be honest with you. She came home on September 11th of 2009, her senior year, and said, her father was out of town, said, what would you think if I applied to the United States Naval Academy? I said, I think you need to call your father. And she did, and we talked, and honestly, knowing Brynn, neither one of us could really say that it wasn't a good fit. I mean, from what we knew of it, I mean, really was a good fit for her. But I had visions of her being a Baylor Bear, or and I could pop up on the weekends and see her, or going to Rice, and I was not excited. I tried to be supportive, but I was not excited. So it was traumatic. I mean, going up for I-Day and that whole experience was very traumatic, and but we kind of, something happened where we had known somebody who had changed their mind at the last minute, and it would have been very stressful for that whole family, and something clicked in me, and I said, you know what, my job is to support here. The mom side of me doesn't really want this. I want my baby home, but this is good for her, and my job is to support. And so that's the role I took on for the next 4 years. And she needed it a lot of times. I mean, they have hard times, and they need the support of their families, and she did lean on us, and we were glad to be there for her. But it's sort of a family thing, really is. So I would say that anything and everything that you could possibly go to, okay? I mean, at the Naval Academy, they have I-Day, which is not a fun day, but it's a really important day to be at. And then they have at the end of plebe summer, they have the sort of the celebration that's over, and it's called Plebe Parent Weekend, which was also, that was a big celebration and a really special and important time. And there are only a few other times, I don't know about the other service academies, but there are only a few other times at the Naval Academy that you're invited to participate in anything on campus. I mean, we got to go to classes, we got to see your dorm room, which is off limits any other time. No moving your kids in and fluffing their pillows or anything. I mean, you leave them at the door and that's it, So those were really, really special times to be able to participate in. And in graduation, I mean, there's nothing like graduation from a service academy. I mean, it's a week-long, just thrilling, amazing experience for everybody. So we just got back from that a few weeks ago, and it was fantastic.
If you smell jet fuel on us, it's from the Blue Angels, and they flew right over.
Yeah. So that's all I have.
That's great. That's great. So I just want to emphasize a few things that were already said. The parents do get involved in some of these clubs. We did participate in the Gulf Coast Parent Club initially to try to get some questions answered, and they were able to answer most of them, so it's still kind of scary. So rely on those kinds of networks for sure. It's very helpful the first year, for sure. The other thing is they have a program at the Naval Academy, I believe at most of the military schools, and that's a sponsor family. It may go by a different name. And we were a little bit jealous because we thought, wait a minute, we're the parents and we don't get to be involved with our kids, but it is a fantastic thing for the kids and so necessary, and I shouldn't say kids, for these young adults. And it's so necessary to have a place where they can go and take their uniforms off and put sweatpants on and watch a cartoon or sleep in or something like that, although you probably won't get much time to do that. But it's a great program that they've set up. We wish we could be sponsor of parents. We're going to talk to Congressman Brady about sending a plane back and forth so we can have these students come to our house, because it would be an honor for us to do that, and what a great opportunity to encourage these young people and to be a part of their lives, and it's been a very valuable experience for Brynn for sure, and through that she's had what we think are some positive encouragements, because there'll be people out there that want to be negative about the whole experience as well, but these sponsor families they're either currently active military or have been. They're very knowledgeable and they're very positive, and they give you the real picture, and they'll also give you some coffee cake and some soda on the weekend if you want to sort of just chill out a little bit, which you'll want to do. So piece of advice. This is the advice that I gave to Brynn going up there, because as you probably already gleaned, Brynn is very bubbly. We call her a little rainbow. She just walks around and a slice of sunshine follows her wherever she goes. And so we were concerned about that, going to a military academy. So here's Dad's big advice. Brynn, make sure you compartmentalize that and keep it safe and protect it, and don't let anyone tear that up or tear that out and take that away from you. And fortunately, Brynn did not follow that advice. And an example she just alluded to, during plebe summer, I mean, literally, I tell people this and they think I'm kidding, but when you drop off your child, you're literally just sending in a naked body, because that's basically all it's taken in. And the rest is built back up. So it's a good mental picture. That's it. And literally, your child goes in and they have, by the way, for the girls, don't put on makeup that day, because you will definitely get yelled at for that. And the other thing, you might want to have your hair cut here by your hairstylist as opposed to letting them do it. So definitely think about that. Brynn did that, and believe it or not, her hair was long. She donated the hair, so that made her feel good, and she went in with the proper cut, so that wasn't something she had to endure there as well. So here's my advice. Brynn, protect what's special about you and your bubbly personality. Don't let them hammer that away, so keep it locked up. And plebe summer, they take away your cell phone, they take away your clothes, they take away, I think, maybe even your toothbrush, I'm not sure, but and they sort of break you down and build you back up, and you've heard that, and it's true. And we've seen it on Hollywood movies, and we think, oh, they're stylizing it, but they aren't. It's really what happens, and you know what? That's the way it's supposed to work, and it works really well. And they build them back up as a team, and they build them back up to develop their own confidence and being resourceful. So it works, but it's very hard. So plebe summer, I think we were told we would have 3 20-minute sessions where we'd be allowed to communicate with our plebe. I think we only got 2. We're trying to remember. It's all a very scary time in our memory we're trying to suppress. But one of those instances, we were at a swim meet with our son. It was a big, important regional meet, and it was in Austin. But we literally had our cell phones out the whole time, because that was the time where we thought that they may allow the plebes to call home. So in the middle, actually just a few minutes before the swim meet for our son began, or the particular race, the phone rang, and it was Brynn. And we ran outside. Hold on, don't go away. We ran outside, and we had her on speaker, and we're huddling, under the tree outside, and we're trying to listen to her. Hi, Mom, Dad. It's Brynn on the phone. How's it going? And she was just giggling and laughing the whole time, and we thought, what is going on? We're standing out here, it's about 110 degrees, we have to stand in formation formally, and they're all watching us and telling us to stand up or do this as we're on the phone, and you can imagine them like little soldiers standing there talking to Mom and Dad. Hi, we love it here. And but then Brynn told us this story. She said, I have to tell you, I've figured out a way to be Brynn. And we thought, what are you talking about? Well, she studied the way things work, and instead of fighting it, good advice you heard already, do not laugh until you're back in your room or with your friends. Then laugh your fannies off, because you need to get that. So Brynn figured out that using the system, she could ask her detailer permission to relay a story, sir. And she would do that. And they didn't really know what was about to hit them. The Brynn bomb was released. And so she would tell a story, and it would go on and on and on, and it was Brynn's way of being Brynn. And so she figured out a way to be herself within the confines of the institution. And it's fantastic advice, so I thank her for that. I gave her the wrong advice. She went and did what was natural to her, and it's the right advice. And we've heard that also from Colonel Miller. So it's very good advice. So keep that in mind. Whatever it is about you that's unique, find a way within the system, don't fight the system, to express that and allow yourself that. So we treasure that time. So here she is, she made it, we're relieved. People kept telling us, are you looking forward to graduation? And we said, what do you mean? It's a release, we're going up to rescue her, But it was truly a graduation, a culmination of a lot of her incredible efforts and our support. And so we're very proud of her, and thank you very much for having us here.
Thank you for speaking. That first year, how much contact will you have with your...
Plebe summer, basically just a few points in time. If they're always being told if you've earned it, so you may or may not get it. But I think they have 3 times.
3 20-minute phone calls.
3 20-minute phone calls.
After that,
it gets better, and I believe the system works this way. First, and this is layman's terms, but you're sort of you lose all of your rights initially, and then you earn them back. And so over the first year, those rights are earned back. You still have to square your corners, and you still have to do things the way you operate yourself on the yard, but you're given your phone back.
They have their phones back.
But then there's certain times during which they can be on the phone, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure how it is for the military academy and the Air Force academy, but for the Naval Academy, your whole freshman year, you get your phone back after the boot camp, but you can't have a computer. Well, you can have your computer, but no media, so no music, no movies, nothing, no media, no Skyping family or anything. But you can call whenever you're not in class or doing training.
Yeah. So that was helpful, and thank goodness, because we didn't grow up with cell phones, so to be able to have that kind of communication mobility in that environment in this day and age is really a wonderful thing for the parents, for sure. So the other thing is, people that aren't in the military, we might joke about, oh, I got to pay taxes, that kind of, I have my own business, quarterly taxes, But now I don't say that. I say to everyone, thank you for your paying your taxes. You just paid for my daughter's education and employment for at least the next 5 years. So, you really do gain a whole new appreciation of what all of the tax dollars are going. Honestly, I'm not just being silly here. I really have gained that appreciation. That's how this all works. And these young people, and it's amazing for me and for Lisa, and it will be for you, to think that it's your child that's now this young adult that's basically going to be, let me put it this way, you wouldn't want Brynn's boat to pull up, next to you if you've done something wrong. It's a pretty awesome thing. And so to have these young people in charge of these resources and literally, out there risking their lives to protect our freedoms and our lives, it's just awesome. You just can't even imagine it. So, I can congratulate all of you and thank all of you for what you're about to do. The students that are going in and the parents that are sending in your naked bodies and children and what you'll get back out is just truly amazing in person. So, any other questions in particular? We'll be happy to answer some offline, if you like, if they're a little more, private or scary. But, I was joking a little bit with Congressman Brady. I said, how honest do you want us to really be? There are definitely some hard times, but it's as Brynn will tell you, it's worth it. And she understands her obligations, her duty, the privileges and the honors. And there was another young woman that went through this process, class of 2007, Jamie Brady, and her father is a pastor in our church. And he used to say, and I like this, that people would ask her daughter, like you would a typical college student, how is it? Is it fun? And the answer was usually, fun? No, that's not the right word. Worthwhile? Yes, that's the right word. And I just think that's a good contrast to keep that in mind. Any other questions? Don't be shy, seriously. Sometimes you don't even know what to ask.
How many letters did you receive from your parents during this time?
I received pretty much every week a really nice care package have to open it in front of the detailers, so just keep that in mind. All your
And
mail
so
is, and
parents,
they'll play with whatever they give you. And
right. So
you know.
parents, if you send cookies or
They'll
candy
eat them.
to your child, chances are that will be shared
You'll get half.
first,
Yeah.
first by the detailers, and then maybe with your son or daughter.
But actually, an important note on that is just parents, please don't be offended if you don't get a lot of letters from your children, because I wanted to write a letter so bad, but all I had time for was about a sentence a night. Not even kidding you, because we would have so many extra assignments and you have a bedtime and you cannot get up before certain times. So I literally would write a sentence a night. I think maybe I sent 2 letters home in 7 weeks, so just keep that in mind.
And the letters we got that time were often started and stopped. You could tell they were a different color ink, the handwriting was different, and so, yeah.
Yeah, and one of parents told me that they send a letter to each other every day. Do you think it's a good idea?
If you want. I mean, the question is whether or not your child will have time to read them.
Yeah, I just
Right.
you like that.
Right.
I think I got something about once a week and it was wonderful. I thought that was a good frequency. It wasn't I was able to read them. Letters didn't stack up, and we had a couple people get in trouble for reading letters at night, and they got in huge trouble. So you only have so much time. So I think something once a week is really nice.
The other thing is, we were able to view photographs online of the plebe summer. I'm trying to remember the group. I think it's I don't know if it's the Navy website or if it's one of the parent associations. And but you'll find out through your parent club. And so we would literally, it was the only glimpse of our child that we'd have for weeks, so we would huddle around the computer and look for that, sort through 109 or 120 pictures. Where's Brynn? Where's Brynn? I think that's her in the back. So, we got kind of frantic about that, and then after a while we would just sort of back off. I mean, time will pass, you'll see them, but can be a good source to get some pictures. One thing I'll say, here's some honesty for you. At the beginning of this summer, we noticed they were in formation, all of them, with the various exercises, and you get pictures of that. Towards the end of the summer, there was this formation, but then there was this large and growing group of plebes behind that were in casts, crutches. I noticed those kinds of things. I said, have you noticed a change in the character? So yeah, they're going to get sprains. They'll step up a curb, or they'll extend something in their training, and they're always being pushed. But they all survive and they get through it. So, but it was an interesting contrast in the before and then towards the end of some of the pictures. Any other questions?
Well, Brynn, Stephen, Lisa, thank you all for sharing your experience and advice. My guess is both parents and our midshipmen and cadets are thinking, I wish it were 4 years from now. With all of it. But, year to year, we always hear the advice, especially for the parents. There are so many others out there who have gone through it or are going through it as well. It just seems invaluable to be able to connect with them. And these sponsor programs, with the young people is really, it seems to me, hugely helpful in the whole process. We hear always good things about that. So I hope that our best and brightest got something today from listening to Brynn and her experience, and the parents as well from Stephen and Lisa. We're really, really excited about where you're headed here in a month, what your future is going to be, how you're going to serve our country in whatever role you play, because that's what we're really looking for, people who want to make a difference, serve their country, and understand that they're not above others, we're below them, helping lift them up. That's our role in life. And so thank you all for being here today. I'd like to present to Brynn and Stephen and Lisa small tokens of appreciation for your willingness to share your thoughts with us today. Hey, for Brynn, we have a crystal bowl. Brynn, I hope you'll think of this often. Thank you very much. And congressional mugs for Stephen and Lisa from the U.S. House of Representatives. Congress isn't very, doesn't have high approval ratings, so hide those if you need. until it surfaces, maybe.
You got our vote.
Well, and events just as the young people arriving at this point in their life didn't happen by accident. Events like today don't happen by accident. We're really fortunate to have good people, a good team in our congressional district making this happen. I appreciate the staff at the Little Louisiana Methodist Church for use of their library this morning. It was great to work with as well. Jane Jones with Jubilation. Jane, thanks very much for catering the breakfast. We've got a great team in our congressional district. Our office is here to help you, so don't hesitate to call or email us. We can be of help. Students, you won't have time to send us selfies or anything like that, but throughout your years, keep us informed. Send us email, post it, Facebook, whatever you need to do, whatever you have time to do. Just let us know how you're doing. We love following our young men and women and their achievements and just the highs and lows of everything. And I'm always amazed. We live here in the Woodlands, have for a long time, commute to work each week in Washington. Just went over 2 million miles flying back and forth. But here at home, it really keeps you grounded. You'll be at the dry cleaners or at the grocery store, and someone will stop you and tell you where their cadet midshipman is, where they're at in their life. It's really one of the coolest parts of the job. So keep us up to date on what you're doing, because it really is encouraging for us. So parents, if you'd like to start your networking today, if you'd like to provide us your contact information so we can share with the other parents in the room, please see Caitlin, and we'll make sure you all know how to get hold of each other. At this time, I'd like to ask Lieutenant Colonel Wendell Barnes to please join me at the podium for our benediction.
A short note first. I didn't attend a military academy. I was commissioned during the Vietnam era as an enlisted soldier going through officer candidate school. And what I found was the finest officers in the military come out of the military academies. And you're sending your sons and daughters to be trained by some of the greatest leaders and the smartest people that they'll run into in a long time. It's interesting. The reason we're sending them there is so they can lead soldiers and sailors and Marines and airmen into battle. That's what we train them to do. So before we close and send these young adults off to their challenging journey, let us pause and remind them that there will be times of physical and mental stress when you may wonder if you chose the right path. We want you to remember you were selected because we all believe that you are on the right journey. You're never alone. We are here for you, and every day we ask the Lord to guide and protect you. So go enjoy the adventure. Thank you.
Well, thank you all, and may God bless every one of you.